GM. Today's lesson, I'll talk a little bit about what I did when I first started making serious money in trading, how I reacted to it, what was the pitfalls mostly. So talking with one of my masterclass students, and he's now making far more money than he's ever made before, to the point where a single trade can be multiples of his weekly wage, which is amazing. And rightly so, he asked me, what did you do when you were in this situation for the first time? When you were first starting to make money that really matters in a way that you hadn't done before, how did you react to it? Did you make any mistakes? And what were those mistakes? So give me a really good idea for a lesson, because that's something for sure that I remember well. And I remember the first time I made serious money, and it was, for me, it was portfolio growth. My portfolio grew from less than six figures, probably 50 or 60 or 70, somewhere around there, to 400, over 400k within about a 3-month period. So very, very rapid. It was in the midst of a big bullish move. The market, I was on the right side of the market, everything went right. That's all that needs to be known. Also, I was taking too much risk. So it grew very aggressively because I was taking too much risk. This was before I was truly systematic in my trading. It's before I was doing all the things that I preached to you, right? It was before this. This was early in when I was trading, within the first couple of years. And when that happened, it was as if all the typical things you hear happened at once. I thought I was a genius. Absolutely. I thought I would do this forever, right? Absolutely. I thought it would never stop. Absolutely. I thought I had free money to play with. Absolutely. All these things that you'll think about, they all happened. Every one of them. I remember thinking, wow, I had like 60k 3 months ago. Now I've got like 420. Doing the calculations in my head, thinking about, if I turn this 420 into 1.3 million in the next 6 months, I can turn this into 5 million by 2 years from now. You're just getting way, way, way ahead of yourself. And so that'd be the first thing I would say, is do not extrapolate anything out into the future. Whatever has happened up until this point is not forecastable or guaranteed for the future at all. Not at all. Just forget about it as best you can, right? Your past results don't infer anything about your future. That can be the best thing or the worst thing, depending on how you view it. Right? Whenever you have a really hot streak, you don't want to think, oh no, what you mean this is not going to go on forever? But if you turn it the other way and say, yeah, this hot streak, this winning streak I'm on is not going to go forever. So I need to stick to my risk rules and not trade as if this money is going to last forever. So that was one of the mistakes. The biggest mistake, though, was thinking that I could be more aggressive because I was playing with money that I didn't have before. This is the house money effect, right? You're in a casino, you win some money, right? You win the casino with $1,000. You win 5,000. You're up 4,000. You will gamble aggressively with that 4,000 because it's the house's money. You've just stolen it from the house. So why not double down and try and turn this 5k into 10 or 15 or 20? And what you do is you take more risk with the money that you just made, and you end up losing it. So in gambling, like in the casino, all right, that makes sense. It's just gambling, right? There's no skill involved. You're just fucking playing roulette or whatever. But in the markets, when you've done all the work to analyze, build systems, test them, take them live, do the trading, follow your rules, and I had done all that, right? I was still trading with a plan. I wasn't blindly gambling. I was using too much risk, right? I was risking too much. That's why it managed to grow so fast. I was risking, way too much of my portfolio, which is another mistake, of course, which meant that because I was lucky that the market was on my side and I got 5 or 6 winners in a row, it meant it grew super fast. But then I kept trading with that size. So I was losing, 10 or 15% of that money on one trade. But the first time it happens, you're like, I lost 30k out of that 420, but I still have 390. I remember when I had 60. So in my head, I'm like, I still have this. And then you have another loss. But then you've still got 350. It's fine. And you rationalize this all away, not realizing that just those two trades, like the two next trades I took, I got to about 420 or 430. I can't remember exactly what. It was a long time ago. But I remember it was over 400. And I kept risking around 10%. And I lost like two trades in a row. And I went from 420 down to like 350 or 340. And don't get me wrong, it hurt. I was annoyed that I didn't have above 400k anymore. But in my head, I was like, no, it's fine. But I had 60, just a few months ago, and I was rationalizing it as if it was okay. But just stop and think about that for a second. The amount I lost on those two trades was more than my entire portfolio 3 months ago. I had about 420 and went down to about 350. That was about 70k I lost. The entire portfolio was only 70k 3 months before, 60, 70k. It's just insanely ridiculous risk and size. And you just can't do it. That's why you just cannot do it. You have to scale it back. And not even scale it back. You just don't go there in the first place. You don't risk 10% in the first place. Because it leads you then to the exactly what happened to me next is I kept doubling down and whittling it away. When doubling down, not in the sense of taking trades that I shouldn't, there were still trades in my system, but instead of reducing my risk and saying, okay, I've lost 70 out of this 420, I'm down to 350, I don't want to lose the rest, let me go back to 2%, 3% risk and just trade normally. But no, because my brain was used to seeing big wins, like 5-figure P&Ls, I had to keep going. And so the 350, I still used 10% of that, right? And then it's 35, and then it's down and down. And it wasn't all losses, there was wins in between, but you know the story. Ended up back down at like 120, 130, before I really, before I snapped myself out of it. So this is fucking stupid. Thankfully, in the long run, I didn't blow up all the way to zero. I managed to catch myself back at that 120. I still have made money. It was a fucking expensive lesson. Probably set me back by a year in terms of compounding. Because going from that 120 back to that 430, 420 took about a year. Right? And if I hadn't have done that, I'd have been starting at a base of 420 or 400, whatever, instead of back down to the 100. Making that money back is so much harder. So you have to respect every penny you have. And if you start to make a lot more money than you have done before, it's not guaranteed forever. It doesn't mean you've just got this magic money glitch. You still have to respect it and hold on to it. And only put it at risk whenever you have a proper setup with proper risk management. And don't put yourself in a position to just whittle it away. It's not house money. It's not free money. It's not free winnings. It's hard-earned money.